Now then, they launched themselves as Tom and Jerry in 1957, though they'd been singing together since the age of 13. They changed the name of their act in 1961 and became leaders of the new pop protest movement. Though the older generation didn't know whether they were singers, a comedy act, or a law firm, they made one of the most successful film soundtracks ever in 1967. The partnership dissolved in 1971, but now, happily for everybody, they're together again. Simon and Garfunkel are here with us tonight to tell Nationwide exclusively about their new partnership. Gentlemen, delight to see you again, and excellent news that you're together again. I was very interested, while you were watching all that, you're still sort of banging away and zipping away. I mean, they're now very old, lovely songs. You still enjoy them as much now as you did then?
I do, and seeing the Graduate soundtrack and hearing Paul chug-a-chug on the guitar had me tapping, because I always liked that he played that choke rhythm in that spot.
Now tell me, why this single you've got out, Little Susie, why not an original Paul Simon hit? Because that's pretty golden oldie in itself, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we talked about that. In fact, we had a little bit of misgivings whether that would be representative of how the people last heard us together. But it came out of the talking it over with record companies, and in this case there are 2 record companies, and they were telling us that Wake Up Little Susie would be well-liked, because that was the one they were getting the initial response from.
Yeah. Yes. Now, Paul Simon, you are, of course, the writer of both the songs and the words. Any sort of signs of them drying up at all?
Signs of the songs drying up, or me?
Oh, the inspiration drying.
I find it harder and harder to write.
Yeah?
Yes, I find it very difficult now.
Why is that? What, you're 40 now? Do you think you're losing your fertility, your songwriting fertility at 40, do you?
No, I think that my critical powers far exceed my creative powers. And when I begin to write, I just edit myself right out.
Yeah. Because I'm sure that when you play at Wembley Stadium, as you are going to do, when is it, the 19th of June, the problem is that they're all going to want the old golden oldies, aren't they? Mrs. Robinson and Bridge Over Troubled Waters and The Boxer. Isn't that the problem?
That's not a problem, no.
No, we like them. It's fun to sing those old songs. For us, it's pretty fresh, not having worked together for a decade. So just reharmonizing on songs that we used to do will be a pleasure, I think.
Because that's what they want, certainly, isn't it? Rather like Sinatra, who said he could never get away from his great, great hits.
Well, that's, I think it's just part of a show. I mean, the concert at Wembley will be about 2 hours long, and it will encompass songs that we did early on in our career, and songs from the later part, and then songs that we did in the 70s.
Now, you've been away from each other, as it were, musically anyway, for about 11 years, and as I say, it's very good to see you together. But why did you break up? I mean, people said that you were, you know, getting fed up with the sight of each other. Was it just too much of each other at that time?
I think Paul knows the answer. I was never sure myself.
Why was the break, Paul?
A certain amount of overexposure, of having taken the juice that exists in the chemistry in the act and having kind of wrung it out, and I remember feeling a little of that by 1970. Mm-hmm. I'd have to go back and kind of remember those days, but it felt as if that was the organic thing, the natural thing, to pursue one's own interest, even at the expense of the duo.
But you both did pretty well in the interim years, haven't you, when you've been going so? A couple of boo-boos here and there. I mean, a film that went through the floor, as it were. But
I did very, very well, Art. However, almost no success at all.
Yeah. So why you got together again now? You feel that you're seeing each other in a new light now, are you?
Yeah. Well, Art, as you know, is dying from an incurable disease.
No, I don't think that's technically true, but
I need the money.
You need the money. What about you, Art? Do you need the money?
No, I don't need the money. I think that the reason why we're getting together comes out of the initial offer that came last year from, was it Ron Delsener who called you and said, do a Central Park show?
It's sort of the same reason that we sort of separated. It was what seemed natural to do. It was the right opportunity to come back. In this particular case, to perform in Central Park was our hometown, and it was a free concert at the end of the summer, and it was easy, and the timing seemed right. We were in the mood to do it. A lot of time had elapsed. People were well, we didn't know, of course, at the time whether people would be interested in seeing us. But as it turned out, people's interest was still there, and probably even heightened by the fact that we hadn't performed in so long.
Do you think the rest from each other has done you good in the end?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And do you think you might stay together now?
For a bit, yeah.
I think you're still putting this together again, aren't you? You're still not quite sure. Anyway, a delight to see you singing together. I know you'll have a smash hit concert at Wembley Stadium in the open air and the big stadium where all the cup finals are played.
Oh, we look forward to it.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.